Welcome to another edition of the KTTH Roundtable, where Bryan and I talk about stories around a literal roundtable. I have a story today and this week, actually. Jessica Taylor is a sergeant with a former lieutenant, actually, with Seattle Police Department. She resigned on August 1st with a very brutal 15-page long resignation letter. And she goes off on the city council, which she calls extremists, the mayor's office, she calls the mayor spineless, and basically says what a lot of cops have been telling me for the last several years, which is it's just lawless on the streets of Seattle. And as much as people want to pretend that things are just rosy and great, they're not. And cops are frustrated that they can't do their jobs.
And also she expressed out loud what no one is saying, that there's utter contempt for Chief Diaz in Seattle because he jumped captain, went right to deputy chief. There's tremendous contempt amongst the rank and file. She ends the letter by pointing out that he badged his way into the Taylor Swift concert, which I think is the most damning part of the thing.
You would do the same thing.
No.
For your kid?
Just,
maybe not Taylor Swift.
Somebody,
you would
do it in a heartbeat. It would be on TikTok. I mean, there's a threat to Taylor.
I hope people check it out. It's at KTTH.com. It's since gotten national and international attention because you don't often hear from officers like this when they are on the books. They can't talk to the media on the record, and so they have to hold back a lot of what they say. But when you don't have to do that anymore,
yeah, the Seattle Police coal mine is full of canaries at this point. No more room for any more canaries.
Yeah. What do you got?
This FBI raid in Provo that resulted in the death of the suspect, the 75-year-old man, Mr. Robertson. The FBI had been investigating this guy for online social media posts where he was promising to assassinate the president. So they felt the guy was so much of a credible threat, with him bragging about all his guns, that they were going to search the house and arrest him. I get that. What I don't get is why, if he was such a threat, why didn't they do it at 2 a.m. with flashbangs or at a Safeway? They went to his house at broad daylight, putting their own agents at risk. It's almost like they were setting him up to resist or go crazy. They didn't get him at a gas station or a Safeway or whatever. In other words, they did no risk mitigation. And now today, or rather yesterday, crowing about this because the second reason I saw MSNBC was, well, he took pictures with guns and he wore a MAGA hat. Last I checked, that wasn't worth a death sentence. But I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I just got to say, why did this result in a result that the guy was considered to be such a lethal threat to law enforcement that a 75-year-old man, overweight 75-year-old Burl Ives looking guy, and it results in their worst case should have been go to his house where he has access to his guns. That was the first thing they did. And I do have a lot of questions about it, but it's going to go away.
The timing is very odd, but I do wonder, does this go back to some of the criminal justice reforms where we get rid of the no-knock warrants and we don't do it in the middle of the night because then it could freak them out or you could end up shooting other people in the house? Do you think that played any role in this?
No, and also I thought the FBI was a lot more tactically proficient than this because my first thing would have been, my agents are in danger of a daylight raid on this guy's house. It's his house, he knows where everything is, but when he goes to Safeway for his artichoke, we taser him, take him down in front of witnesses, whatever, but the risk is far less in public.
So I don't know if that's true. If you legitimately think that he's a threat and armed at the time, you wouldn't do it in public at a Safeway. You might do it on his way out of the house to go to the Safeway.
Yeah, you'd tail him, and when your agent said he doesn't have a sniper rifle with him in the iceberg lettuce, you take him down. You taser him, whatever. Even in his house, you don't do it at high noon. You go in at 2 a.m. When we did raids to pinch a high-value target, we did them at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because we're in charge. We don't call ahead. And whether I don't know if this guy spotted the surveillance on him. If he didn't, he's a moron. But he didn't have to die. 75-year-old man, by the way.
Well, there you go. When I do my raids, they're usually at 4 a.m. What time do you do your raids? Leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.